Welcome into today's everyday makeup drawer. This is for February. I have had a bunch of stuff in here, I think for 2 months, like this stuff up here, and then the rest of the stuff came from my January's everyday makeup drawer. If you guys have not seen these videos before, this set of drawers right here is everything for my everyday makeup, but I also keep items that I am testing in this set of drawers over here, so I like to flush both of them out, and I'm so ready to do this. I was actually ready like earlier this month because I didn't have any lip products that I wanted to use with the eye looks that I was making because I had a bunch of reds up here. So time to make some decisions. I feel like I always start with this side over here for the items that I'm testing. I think we'll start with this side over here just because it's the side that this is set up on. I think I did that last month too. So anyway, let's get into it, you guys. We're going to talk about all the stuff that I have, and then we're going to shop my stash for the new products to flush in, and I do declutter some things as I go just because I feel like I've tested it and it may not be a formula that I love anymore, or it might even be older and expired. So that's what we're going to do. Let's go. Okay, for all of my primers, I always keep them out, and my setting sprays too, because when I shove my primers in here, I end up not using them. So that's exactly what happened. So I had two primers. I had the Hourglass number 28 serum, and I liked this for hydrating. I kept finding myself like not reaching for it. I really do like to prime if I'm downstairs putting on my skincare, so it has time to like sink into my skin. I want to keep this one up here though, because it's not a primer that's like moisturizing. It's really kind of a sticky, grippy primer, and it is something that I feel like I would like to use to hydrate and to grip before I do my makeup. It's the only one I think I'm gonna keep up here. I think that's pretty much what I'm getting at with that. All right. The Forever Glow Veil from Dior. Now this is a product that is like moisturizing and thin and hydrating, and I want to move this because I like this product so much down to my skincare drawer so that I can use this as my final step after I do my skincare when I'm getting ready in the morning, because that's when I know I'm going to use it. So I am going to like put this back. I really want to get more use out of this. I meant to use this in the drier months. It's still slightly dry outside, not so much here in Florida. Like it's going to keep getting warmer. So this is a product that I like to use during November, December, January, February time when it's a little bit cooler outside. So I want to move this like right now pretty quickly down to my skincare drawer. So we'll put that back. This little RMS Beauty probably has like 2 uses left. It's the Re-Evolve Radiance Locking Primer. So I just said that I was only going to keep this one, but I lied. I want to use the last of this off. So I'm going to keep both of them here, just like in front of my face. And then I had some sprays. I had the Makeup Fixing Mist from Pixi. I really like this if like I over powder, but that's pretty much it. It's just to kind of hydrate me. It really doesn't do anything else. And as much as I have talked about loving this and wanting to keep this in my collection and repurchasing it, I've changed my mind. I had a little mini of the MAC Fix Plus and I loved it so much. I've used this before, but I don't think I loved it as much as I do quite enjoy it now. And this one has like a really nice mister spray, whereas this one from Pixi gets your face like soaking wet if you're not careful or you do it too closely. So for that reason, I prefer the MAC Fix Plus, but also I just feel like this is so good for really fixing your makeup, so much better than this. Even though I feel like this is good, I just feel like the MAC Fix Plus, there's just something about this that really does make the makeup melt into your skin and really look flawless without making you feel greasy. This one definitely like has some oils in it, or it like feels like it does. Anyway, I'm gonna keep this up here, my point is, because I'm going to finish it off. But the MAC Fix Plus right now, because I don't want a super mattifying setting spray in the drier months, I'm gonna keep this one up here as well. It's been my go-to. I finished off the little mini. I went to the mall and bought myself more, and I've already been hitting that up. I just dropped the lid and I'm not going to get it. So this is the other one that I had out, was the Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray from Charlotte. And as much as I do really enjoy this, it was just mattifying me way too much. It was actually drying my skin out because it's so freaking dry outside right now. So it's not one that I want to use right now. This is something that I would love to use in the summertime. These ones I want to just use and focus on, and this one is going to end up going back. All right, for lippies, just because they're up here, they're all going to go, and then some are just going to go. So these ones from Pat McGrath are so beautiful, and I got them in a holiday set. They're the mini Opulus glosses. I got them several years ago, and they're gorgeous. I don't think they still sell these on their own, and I know that if you guys have watched several of these videos, you've seen me talk about these and even swatch them. This is Naked Rose. This is Lavendeering, which is like a purple gold. And then this goldy one is Dreamscape. The thing is, they've just gotten so thick because they're just older that I'm going to let them go. The Naked Rose just feels kind of like too thick on the lips, and I just noticed that it's not performing as well as it used to. The same with the Lavendeering. Yes, the purple one, I'm also going to let it go. Like, it's pretty, but it's just too thick for me. The only one that I'm gonna hold on to, because for whatever reason this hasn't gotten too thick and like goopy, is the orange one. And I do love this, like with a liner, and if I'm doing like a warmer eye look. So I'm gonna hold on to this one, but I'm still gonna keep it up here because I'm gonna zoom us in. If I don't, then I probably will put it away until it's like completely expired. So that's that. And then Hot Tomato from Bite Beauty. These still smell good. Like, it has no scent, so that might be a thing that's like kind of telling that it's maybe on its last leg. But I love this Hot Tomato shade, and I was using a ton of reds in December, especially in January, but I stopped like midway through January just reaching for the reds. I'm just not reaching for them as much anymore, so it's time for them to go away. So I'm gonna put that back because I still think it's good. The Super Satin Lipstick in Tribeca from Makeup by Mario. This is more of a blue red. That's more of a pinky red. My camera does not want to like focus today. There we go. Camera's focusing now. All right, you just gotta shove your hand up close. So that's gonna go back. And then I had this from Pound Cake. It's the Cake Batter in Red Bean. And I love this as a liquid lip, and it's not like completely matte either. It gives you like a little bit of glossiness. It's just really long lasting and pretty. It's a harder formula to work with though, because it's not like super matte. And so I do find that this one slips around a little, but I'm not getting rid of it. Like, if you like a liquid lip, like a red one, you guys have to try this. It's so freaking pretty on the lips if you have fair skin. And also it lasts all day long, all day. I wore this to work a couple of times and it genuinely lasts all day. So that's gonna stay, but it's gonna go back. So I think I'll just move the primers like up there and then more lip products up here, because I'm definitely gonna pull in some more lip products. In fact, I think I'm gonna move these ones over there because I'm not testing them. This is from MCO Beauty, and it's a dupe to the Laneige lip balms. The more that I zoom in, the less it wants to focus. Anyway, it's in Watermelon. It was my favorite thing from the MCO Beauty advent calendar, and I was reaching for it a lot just to throw it over a lip liner. Same thing with this. This has got nowhere else to live, so it's gotta kind of stay up here because it's so freaking small. It's from Carolina Herrera. It's just a gloss in 975. I also got in an advent calendar. It's such a pitiful amount of product. But this one that I got in the advent calendar from Free People, it's the Blackberry Punch Berry Tint. It's just a nice, like, kind of sheer, basically chapstick. It's a balm, but there's nothing to it. I'm throwing it on right now. This I'm probably just gonna move to my purse or like downstairs by my bed. So this one's gonna go away. All right, let's move on to this last one here, which is technically still my primer drawer. I brought in the Say Dew, but I've had this for several years, and so I was trying to use it as a primer before deciding like if it was gonna stay or go. I've had this in my collection a long time, so it was kind of like imminent to make that decision. I just don't wear little enough foundation to make this work the way that it should if I'm gonna use it under the foundation, because this just doesn't show up at all, and I'm so combo skin that it doesn't really make sense for me to use a product like this underneath the foundation, and it's much too sheer to wear as like a liquid highlighter that it's intended to. So this is going to be the first product that I'm going to declutter. I just do not find myself reaching for this type of product anymore. So like, as nice as this product is, it does feel a little bit silly to just declutter it, but if I'm not reaching for it, guys, I'm really trying to let it go. I'm trying to move it along in my life. Now, I've ignored this drawer for so many months, 6 months at this point, of the blush that I was trying to rotate in, and it is officially time to actually work on it. No, I'm not even kidding. I've had it sitting there for 6 months and have not reached for the blush that was in here. So I'm going to finally rotate in some blush because I've slowed down enough on my blush purchases that I don't have a lot to like rotate in for testing new makeup. So I did what I said that I was gonna do, just it took me a long time. Anyway, this is from Buxom. It's one of the Wanderlust Primer Infused blushes. I had 2 of these at one point, but I only held on to Dolly. The Dolly shade is just the best in these powder blushes. By the way, in the cream blush, Dolly is not the same exact shade. So it's like more of a terracotta, where this is still like a really nice pink with a sheen to it. I mean, honestly, it's still a beautiful formula. So I'm gonna hold on to this one and I'm gonna keep it in here. But the Honest Beauty blush I've had for so long, and it's a cream, I'm going to pass this along. It doesn't smell like anything, and it is a really pretty formula. Like I don't think it's bad, and I think it's a really pretty formula. Wow, they're like the same exact colors. This one is in rose pink, but I've had this for years. So how has this not gone bad? Like I don't know. It smells like nothing, which is great. Actually, I think I'm changing my mind. I think I'm gonna give it one last hurrah and keep these in here for the month of February. I think I'm gonna use those. I'm definitely gonna pull in some more, but I want to use these ones. I might declutter the Honest Beauty at some point later on. All right, I've moved you guys down. Got my little pile over here, but let's go through my bronzers next. I feel so good because I used all of these in the month of January. I had the Gucci bronzer in the shade 01. I used the heck out of this. This is kind of like a darker, like more red option for me. It's a gorgeous formula. It blends great. It lasts a long time. I think it's just like a deeper tone, but I use the heck out of this, so this goes back. The Flower Beauty Heat Wave Luminous Bronzer. Oh my gosh, I use the heck out of this too. And I had this sitting in my collection for so long, and I was like, are you gonna use this? But I did, and I love it. I really do. I enjoyed all of my bronzer selections. And then if you guys know, you know, the Balm Desert Blush and Bronzer in Project Pan, and I got a ton more use out of it, so I'm so happy. It just looks like so dotted and old, but it still smells good and it performs fine. So this one actually stays in here. And then the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer in Light. I use the heck out of this. It's been a while since I've had a makeup product look like quite used like this. I just like dig into the center of it quite a bit. I've used a heck out of this. So I feel good about how much I ended up using all of these. No joke, no kidding. I know that's silly, but if you guys have a larger collection, that's how it feels. Like more rewarding when you can put a dent in something and you've just used it over and over and over again. Because there's a lot of products that I realize, oh my gosh, I've only actually used that 4 times. So anyway, that's that. All right, I had a bunch of highlighters and I'm gonna put a bunch of them back. This one from Kara Beauty I kept in for 2 months. It's a yellow highlighter, just try to wipe it off. It's Diamond Light and I love this. It's just that I don't wear this with every single everyday look because it's so yellow and it's so sparkly. So I'm gonna put it back, but I definitely wanna hold on to this. There's a time and a place and certain eye looks that this looks really good with, just not every day. And then my 2 favorite shades of these Dreamlight highlighters from Moira Beauty. There's Foxy Pink. Oh, let me swatch it for you because I love this. And it might seem like it's deep, but you guys, it's so light reflective and like gold. It is gorgeous on the skin. Shall I keep that one? No, I used the heck out of it. I used it so much, so I really am gonna flush these out because I used all of these highlighters like a lot. I really did such a good job rotating. I didn't favor any of them. The Revolution Pro Luster Highlighter in White Rose, I used this a bunch. I maybe favored this one a little bit because it's just such a beautiful texture. And these Moira ones, like in the sunlight, they will get sparkly. You'll look like you have sparkles on your cheeks, whereas like this one, you don't. It's just a lot smoother, a lot more of a like a metallic finish, which is something that I like. But honestly, when it's like really refined glitters, and I wouldn't even call them glitters, they're just more like refined sparkles. So even though I like that, I do like one that is more smooth. So I did favor this one and used it a ton. This one from Moira Beauty is in 01. It's in Dreamlight. It's nice. I don't think it would be everybody's preference because it shifts like yellow. It just like has a yellow base to it, but I really love a yellow highlighter. I can't get enough of them. I think they look so good with a really nice pink blush. I mean, even over like an orangey blush, like a peachy blush, this would look good too. So I really enjoy it. I'm gonna hold on to it and put it back because that one I probably only used 2 or 3 times, so I didn't use it a bunch. And then the Iconic London Illuminator, and this one is in 01, oh, original. You know, I didn't love this as much as I loved it like the first couple of times I was testing it. There's a certain way to apply this is what I found. Like putting it straight onto my cheeks was not the way to go. Even though it's super emollient, it kind of dries pretty quickly. So I found that I had to put it on the back of my hand and really pick it up quickly onto like a brush or a sponge. And I felt like I was using a ton of product. So I think it's nice and I love the way that it looks because it's so metallic and so it's just so beautiful. But I found that it was a little bit more finicky of a formula than I remember it being. I still like it. I just think that I like the roller ball that they make so much better. And then this one I've actually had in here for a couple of months, the Sunflex Powder Highlighter in Bel Air from BH Cosmetics. I used this the least. I don't know why. It's such a gorgeous formula and it's a gorgeous shade too, but I guess I was favoring the Moira ones and the Revolution ones. So we're flushing it out. It's all going by. Now let's move on to powders. Okay, I favored this one and I did not talk super highly about it. It's an under eye brightening powder in baby pink from Pat McGrath. You guys, I was using this to set my eyes every single day. The pressed powder is just so easy to set your eyes. And because I'm going into the office now and I really need my eyeshadow to last, you know, I just don't want to mess around. I don't want it to fade. I've been running around so much at work that I'm just like, can you just stay where I put you? So this was fabulous. I favored this every single day. This was actually really good. And it was a lot more mattifying and a lockdown powder than I thought it was initially, probably. I'm debating on whether or not to keep this up here for a pressed powder option to set my eyes every single day because it's just so lightweight that it works really well for that, but also worked really well under the eyes. So like both, it is a blurring under eye powder. So anyway, I don't know why I was saying, and I was using it under my eyes. That's fine, Carrie. You're a weirdo. So I might keep this in. I'm not decided yet. This one from Gucci is the beauty powder in 01. You know, this is like a harder pressed formula in the pan, but it's more mattifying than some others that I have. And I really like pressed powders, but I'm definitely ready to put this back, but I liked it. I'm holding on to it. The one that I'm so on the fence about is the one from Makeup Forever. This one is the HG Skin Setting Powder in 1.1 Light Vanilla. I just don't think this mattifies me enough. It was like fading off of me very quickly throughout the day. It wasn't locking me down and I was realizing like, I'm getting so oily, what is going on? So this doesn't do shit for me. And it's such a large amount of product. And the problem is it's so pretty when it goes on that like the only time I would reach for this is in the colder months when I'm drier. But like I won't reach for this again until next winter. So do I even hold on to this is kind of the question. The problem is I don't hate it. And that's what I do every single time I don't hate a product, but I don't love it. I will hold on to it and then keep using it. You know, like stop doing that. So shit. Yeah, okay. I am gonna still hold on to it for the purposes of like, I can't make up my mind and I don't want to torture myself. I just want to move on. Here's my Beauty Bakery powder that I love, the Flour Better Not Bitter. And she's still got half of her in there. I'm sure of it. A little less than half probably. And that's in my project pan. So she stays. Plus it's a great go-to powder when I can't decide or like I know I just need to hurry the hell up and I need it to work. So anyway, let's move on to this side. I've got a bunch of stuff to replenish this side with. Okay, I've repositioned these. So my testing new makeup bins are on this side. I have this whole bin here of all the drugstore makeup that I recently tested in a new drugstore releases video. So I like to put all of these in here because I've only tried them once. So now it's just about like testing them some more so they can go into a speed reviews video. Some of these I really did like and some of these I didn't, but where are we gonna start? Let's do lip products first because they always go at the top. The Revolution Pout lip oil was not hydrating at all. This one is in the shade Cherry Red and I remember this is like pretty sheer. Yeah, and I got this because I liked the Pout tint so much last year, and I thought that I would really enjoy this, but it wasn't a favorite at all. I'm trying to zoom out so you can see. I still need to test it. I don't like to make decisions about something unless I've used it like 4 or 5 times, so all of these things have to go in. I did like the Super Lustrous Glimmer Lip Oil. I don't know why they're calling it glimmer. It has no glimmer to it. It's just colored, you know, like it's sheer and it has a color, it's high shine, but there's nothing glimmery about it. I don't know, that's kind of what I was like hoping, was that it was like a little bit glimmery, but I kind of knew it wasn't when I bought it. This is also gonna go up here to test. Do I have any more lip products? No, I do not. Okay, let's move on to primers because I have 2 of those. I got the Super Fix Super Grip Primer from Revolution, hydrates and smooths. It was fine. I don't know that I noticed it doing like a whole hell of a lot. I definitely noticed myself getting like a little bit dewy. So that usually means that it's more of a hydrating primer, but I didn't notice that it was like super gripping. But I also only tested it with 1 foundation, so this is gonna stay. And then the Power Grip Matte Primer from e.l.f. I wasn't like blown away by this either. It wasn't super mattifying the one time that I used it, but I also used it with this foundation, the Lumi Le Glow Tint from L'Oreal. This is straight up metallic. Anyone who wants to fight me on it can. It's so glowy, you guys. It's just like the Tarte Maracuja. That's what this is in drugstore version. Like, even look at it. Look at it in the light. Look at the swatch. It's definitely a metallic finish. I could use it as a highlighter. Swear. I'm not gonna discount it though. I held on to the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Glow foundation, I think is what it was called, because I actually did enjoy it, even though a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. I didn't think it was like terrible, but then as my skin started to get more and more combo or even oily, I definitely decided that it was time for me to declutter it because it just didn't suit like my preferences. I feel like that's what this is going to be, but it's still obviously going to go up here. I'm feeling like the primers just need to go back here and then the foundation here. I generally will put like primers here. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna put the primers there and the foundation at the top. That's usually how I like to do it. All right, let's move on. I do have a mascara and I really enjoyed this. Guys, this was like my favorite thing that I tested. The Color Stay Full-Time Mascara in Neutral Brown from Revlon. And I say it like that because I don't use brown mascaras, but this was such a beautiful brown mascara. And I loved the formula too. I would go back and get this in black too, but the brown was so pretty. I didn't realize I was gonna love a brown mascara. So that one also goes up there. It just decided to fall. I feel like I'm putting a lot of stuff up there and nothing in the drawers. The Essence Soft Precise Lip Pencil, and this one is in My Choice, which I feel like is like a warm neutral, I think was like the shade, or no, brownie pink, I think is what it was. This was not a shade extension color, but it was a shade extension in this line. I just didn't get one that was like part of the 4 new shades. And I'm not thinking I'm like a huge fan of this because it's nice, but it's like a little bit on the drier side. And maybe that helps it stay. But I also have some really creamy drugstore ones that are also super long lasting. So I don't know that that's going to become a favorite of mine. All right, let's move on to blush next. And we'll put them in this drawer right here. So I hated it, but I'm still gonna try it, you know, for science. Pink Party. This was just like a massive amount of like metallic pink sparkles, and I was not digging the way this looked on the cheeks. And it didn't like blend in the greatest. Do we like the way that looks? It was also like super emphasizing of the texture on my cheeks. Wasn't a huge fan, but I'm still gonna keep it or keep testing it. Then the ColourPop, it's the Lip and Cheek Balm and It's a Look. These are, what are these called? I guess it's a lip and cheek balm. Thought they were called something. But anyway, I didn't love this either because it looks super dewy when you swatch it, but then when you blend it out, it was like looking super matte. You know, sometimes when you do that, it's sometimes like the top layer is really glossy, but then when you stipple it in, it's like a staining formula, so it does look more blurred and matte on the skin. So it needs more time to be tested. Bronzers or contours would be next. So the Baby Got Bronze Liquid Bronzer in Sweet Shadow from Essence. I liked this. I didn't think it looked too muddy on me. I don't love these applicators though because it comes out of the center as opposed to like the whole product itself. I did like this formula and I am definitely into a contoury product at the moment. So that one goes there. Then highlighters would be next. I hate this. I hate this. I don't even want to put this in the drawer. It's the Bubblegum Fun Liquid Highlighter from Essence in Bubblegum Tastic. It was just so awful. It was like grossly patchy. It didn't blend in well. Ew. I don't know. I'm gonna try it because, again, I won't talk about anything in a speed reviews unless I've tested it. Oh my gosh, you guys, at least 3 times. At the very, very least twice, I will have given it a shot. I mean, if it sucks, 2 times is all I need to know. Then the ColourPop liquid highlighter wasn't my favorite either. Dewy liquid highlighter in the shade Sugar Donut. And the reason was because it was so light. So you guys might really like this if you like a liquid highlighter, but something a little bit more sheer. Would you please go on? It's just really light, and I think I'm used to liquid highlighters kind of packing a punch, and I wasn't a fan of how much product I was applying to get the desired effect out of this. I don't think it's bad, I just think it's a little bit more sheer than I like personally. And then the final one is the Flawless Skin Trio Loose Setting Powder from Essence. This is one that has 3 colors, a pink, a peach, and a purple, and it has this fabulous little sifter in there, except the problem is you can't close the sifter. So it's designed to like be open for just 1 or even 2 shades if you want. So if you just want to get out a particular color, it will. The problem is you can't close it. So when you start moving it around, the product then becomes like loose in the top cap. So that's the only flaw to this. I really enjoyed this powder, and I enjoyed all of the shades too. And to be honest, it was the first one that actually came with a thing so you could pick the color powder that you wanted instead of just like the Givenchy where everything came out all at once. The Moira Beauty, same thing. I couldn't like get the green just because I wanted the green. Whereas this one I can. It's just you have to dump the stuff that's at the top and start over. And that's it. There are some products that I have from a testing new makeup video today that might get flushed into here, but I try not to overwhelm myself too much because that also takes away from the stuff that I have to rotate in for my everyday makeup drawer. So that's good for now. I want to leave it there. If I get low on certain things, I might bring in like 1 or 2 other things. Like the foundation, for sure. I'm wearing one today that I could see myself really enjoying continuing to use, so that might go in. But now it is the Shop My Stash portion, and we need to bring in pretty much everything with the exception of I don't need any primers and I don't need any setting sprays, but everything else I need to pull in for my everyday makeup drawer. So let's do that. Let's get to the Shop My Stash portion. All right, let's go through bronzers first because it's just kind of like in sequence of the drawers. And I didn't even look at this ahead of time, so I'm not sure what I want to do. There is definitely some products in here I would still like to suss out, you know, that I would like to get rid of if I don't absolutely love it. But then there are some things in here that I really just want to get use out of for the sake of getting use out of them. And I've rotated so many in recently that I feel so good about it. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring in the MAC because I want to suss this little guy out. It smelled for a period of time and it was so new when it did it. And it smelled like, oh my gosh, wet newspaper or wet cardboard. It was quite gross. But then the scent is gone now. I literally smell, okay, I smell it a little bit, but not a lot. It was such a beautiful rosy tone. It's the matte light rosy skin finish bronzer. So let's decide whether or not this one stays or goes. I'm not attached to it enough to like keep it at this point, and I have things that are, I feel like, comparable. So that one will go in. I think I want to bring these NYX ones in because I don't know if I need both of these shades, and one of these might be a little bit too dark. This one right here is in All Butted Up. It's supposed to be light, medium, warm, which is not really like me, you know, I'm not like a medium. It is warm too, but I feel like it was a red warm. So I want to decide between that one and then the NYX Buttermelt Bronzer in Light Neutral in Buttercup, which I think is more my shade. I think that I would prefer to hold on to this one than the other one, but who the heck knows at this point? They're both great, I think. It's just like, do I even need both is where I'm thinking I'm going with this. All right, and then I want to bring in the Cloud Paint from Glossier. I think a liquid. Actually, these are creams, so I shouldn't say that. A cream formula and then 3 powders. And then I still have the other one from the Balm. There goes my kids screaming. I don't know if you guys can hear, but they're so loud. That was the little one. Anyway, I have decidedly, I hated the way that this is set up now because I pared down my bronzer collection that it all fit in one drawer where I had separated creams and liquids from powders before, but now everything's all in one, but it's such a shallow drawer, it really just doesn't hold a ton. And so all these like liquids over here are just like laying down on slots, which I don't love. I don't know. I don't love this setup, you know? In the ideal world, I'd like have this side just be like a row of liquids and creams, but can't do that unless I move it around. So I think I'm just gonna pull in those 4 bronzers. And I'm sorry for the angle, by the way. This is right up against the wall and I can't get the tripod to like get any straighter unless I hold the camera. All right, that's good for this. Oh, and by the way, I never pull in foundations or concealers because I can't. I have such a problem like picking one for the month. I jump around so often that I just reach for like whatever I'm feeling for that day. You know, if my skin's a little bit drier. So these foundations just get used. I mean, I just rotate through them like all week long. I'll be like, oh, today I really want my foundation to last. So I'm gonna grab the Care & Glow from Lancome, the Tinty Doll. And that's pretty much what I do. Or sometimes I'll go like, oh my gosh, I want something a little bit more dewy and hydrating. It's just like whatever I'm deciding for that day, or like whatever makeup look I'm kind of looking for, depending upon what I'm gonna be doing. Am I gonna be cleaning out a bunch of files today and I'm gonna be sweating my ass off? Or am I just gonna be chilling at my desk in the cold AC? So that's kind of like what I think about when I'm doing my foundation. And then concealers, which you can't even see. I mean, they range so differently in shades that I match it to the foundation. So there you go. I'm not even gonna move the camera for the powders. I'm just gonna like bring them up here and show you the ones that I'm picking. I don't have a huge powder collection. I never have. I'm so picky when it comes to powders and I'm scared to like try new ones. So I like pressed powders an awful lot because they're fast and they're easy, and a lot of times they're a little bit more mattifying for me, especially if I'm grabbing for a powder foundation and like using it to set my face. They're a little bit more mattifying. So the Matte and Poreless from Maybelline, I have barely touched this since I bought it. I bought it to put it in my purse because they come with these little sponges at the bottom, and so they're great for a touch up on the go, where a product that doesn't have it, I generally don't like to carry my own puff around. So products like this I like, and the drugstore does this an awful lot, but I moved it out of my purse because I did move a different powder in there. So I want to use this one a little bit more. This Moira one is a powder foundation. So this is going to be for something that I need to lock down the makeup for the day. It's the Complete Wear Powder Foundation in 125N. So I like a heavier one. I like one that's a little bit lighter. And then this one I'm gonna pull in, which is a luminous one. I honestly need to decide whether or not this is gonna stay, because this is an ethereal light from Hourglass. And I like this and the Laura Mercier that's kind of like this, like, oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. A little bit more sheeny, but I just, honestly, I don't think I need both. I want it to be pretty and airbrushing, and it can have like a little bit of sheen to it, but I also want it to lock my makeup down. And I have this one from Laura Mercier that is the Real Flawless Luminous Perfecting Pressed Powder in Translucent. Do I need both? You know, I reach for them so infrequently. I don't think I do. So I'll pull in the Hourglass now, and then I'll test it against the Laura Mercier probably like next month. So those are the powders I'm going to pull in. Let's move on to, oh my gosh, shall we do blush next? Yes, let's do blush. Okay, you guys, if I was a person that got embarrassed easily, I'd probably be embarrassed, but I'm not. I've got 3 drawers full of blush. I have my powder drawer. Below that is my cream. And then below that is like my liquids that have, honestly, that have gotten intermingled because the cream and liquids, now they took over, like the cream side took over. And so I had to like expand. Yeah, this is so tough. This is really tough because I've never done an everyday makeup drawer for blush, because so far it's been me testing new blush and just grabbing for whatever powder one that I like. So I feel like this is gonna be tough for me. Let me take a second. Okay, I think I just need to like make decisions. So the Give Beauty one, I haven't really reached for this a whole heck of a lot. I remember it being a decent enough formula. One is like matte and one is shimmery, but I think they're like a little bit bright for me. So I want to use this as a chopping block kind of style. And this I've had in my collection for several years and I don't get enough use out of it. The Heaven's Glow Blush in Venetian Rose from M Cosmetics, and I want to get more use out of it. So it's going to go in. I'm going to do this one It's so busted and it's so beautiful, but I've been trying to find a different shade in these Makeup Forever blushes, the artist blushes, that I like, but every time I go to store, they're really low in stock, and so I'm swatching shades that I don't love. This is like a shimmery orange, but I think it's just too deep for me. Like after everything that is said and done, I'm just not reaching for deep shades like this, but I want to give it one final hurrah to see if it gets to stay or go. And I've repressed it, but it's such a mess. I don't know if I would get it again if it's a shade that I absolutely love. I think it's like just fine like this, but I might clean it up a bit. Anyway, that's good for the powders, but there is some liquids that I want to bring in. Okay, I'm not even gonna like move the camera. It's a lot of work to just keep shifting them around. And I knew which ones I was gonna bring in because I was using the purple shade, which I ended up decluttering just recently because I've been using a lot of cool tone blushes recently, just with the different cool tone eye looks that I've been using, especially in the cooler months, and it performed like shit. It was so bad, it was patchy, it was so dry, and I remember really loving these, but haven't reached for these in, I don't know, 8 months or something like that. Something ridiculously long because I have such a big blush collection, and these didn't stand out to me as much as some of my other ones. Not to say that they're bad, there's a lot going on here. So the purple one was terrible. I want to suss these out. All of these colors work for me because it's a more sheer formula. So everyone was very complimentary because I'm so fair skinned, and because they were so sheer, they just added something. So I don't know if they would work on every single skin tone, but anyway, the purple one is gone. I want to suss these guys out. So I'm going to bring these in plus the 3 that I brought in powder and then the 2 that were already in there. And that is me being set for blush. Let's move on to highlighters. Okay, I barely moved the camera. Is this everything? Can you see it all? Sort of, kind of. All right, this Laura Geller one, I'm not gonna lie to myself. It's the Diamond Dust Baked Gelato Swirl Illuminator in Diamond Dust. I got this off of Mercari because the gelato swirl looked so good, but the problem is it's shifty, and I don't like shifty highlighters that are like this. Pink, I don't know, I don't like them. If they're like yellow flippy, I like them. So I think that I'm gonna suss this one out because I might declutter it. I was sad because I bought it and then I didn't like it. You know, like I hunted it down and I didn't love it, but I'm still gonna, I don't know, I'm gonna give it a go. I'm gonna bring in the Revlon Skin Lights. I'm not gonna lie, I think this might be too dark for what I'm reaching for right now in 201 Daybreak Glimmer. It's awfully gold for my skin tone. So we'll suss that one out as well. All right, final highlighter, I think, because I already had the 2 other ones in there. And if I love these, like I can rotate between these 2 all month long and be perfectly fine if I don't end up loving this or the 2 other liquid ones that I have in there. This one from Kara Beauty is pretty deep, but you guys, it's that like goldy pink that I really like. And I personally think that when it matches like a blush color, it's just so freaking beautiful. So it's not too deep for me. This is the Dye For You Illuminating Powder in Fluorescent Rose from Kara Beauty. I even like the packaging too. It's in a little box. Okay, let's bring in one more because I think I'm gonna suss this one out too. It's the Champagne Spray Liquid Blusher. It's the blush from Made by Mitchell. I just really like this peachy tone. I honestly don't think that I'm gonna get rid of it, but sometimes I look at things and go, is that too deep for me? Like, see how freaking sheer that is and how really pretty that is? Actually, I might really enjoy it, but it's good to rotate it in. I've been doing a pretty decent job in rotating my stuff, so that feels good. That does, it feels good. All right, moving on to lip products. Final category here is lip products. I'm gonna get the camera centered. I have literally no idea what I want. I like to just rotate. It's really like whatever eyeshadow I'm wearing, that's the color lip product I'm grabbing basically, or like whatever's flattering with that. So it's so hard to pull in lip products unless it's like all reds is what I think. Okay, so I'm gonna pull in the Revolution Pout Tint. So I was talking to you guys about how much I really enjoyed this last year. This is actually so pretty in Mad About Mauve, so much better than the lip oil. So that's gonna come in. I'm gonna grab the satin lipstick from YSL. This one is in the shade N8. I think I'll probably swatch these when we put these back. I'm gonna bring this one in from Charlotte Tilbury. I really like this and I don't use this enough. It's the Airbrush Blur Blotted something lip. I can't even remember what it's called. And this one is in Rose Blur. I'm trying to target ones that are a little bit older, and I'm trying to grab like a bunch. So far I'm like grabbing a bunch of pink shades. This one from Victoria Beckham. Let's do like a shiny lip gloss from Kiko Milano, and then one of my MAC lips in Plumful. This is one of the Luster lipsticks. And then finally, I'm gonna pull in one more. So like no new glosses, I don't think. So like this is different. I've got some creams. I've got a Pout lip tint that's kind of like high shine. I have one gloss, and let's bring in the Moisture Smooth Color Stick from Neutrogena. I don't even know if they make these anymore. I have another drawer below, which is like all lip glosses, but I don't think that I need to pull in anything right now. Like lip glosses and lip oils, basically. Like if I want them, I can kind of just come and grab them for the day. But I think this is good on the lip product. Ones in here that I really haven't reached for in a while, like the Victoria Beckham and the Neutrogena I haven't reached for. Same thing with the MAC. These other ones are a little bit newer in my collection, like definitely newer than some of these. So I feel like these 7 are good in addition to the ones that I already have up there, plus the ones that I am testing, the 2 glosses that I'm testing, or 2 lip oils that I'm testing. I need to put these other ones back. I put all the rest of them back already. Here's my Makeup by Mario. Here's the Bite. I think I'll put like this liquid lip back here because I pretty much did like liquid lips and then bullets, and then down below was lip glosses and lip oils. So that's pretty much like all this is. Oh, I also really like this, the Color Fetish Hydrating Lip Stain from Milani. Maybe I'll pull this in next month. Like these two are pretty neck and neck, but this is a thinner formula than this one is. So to be honest, I kind of like this Pout tint a little bit more from Makeup Revolution. Okay, that's it. Let's go put everything back. All right, I kind of have us at a wide angle because there's a couple of things that I want to put into this testing new makeup bin that I forgot to bring in. So this from Half Magic is a shade extension in Cyber Diamond of the Glitter Puck. So they had Dopamine Sparkle, which is pink, but this one is silver. And I thought I was going to use this in a testing new makeup, and then I ended up not doing that. It's pretty bright in here. And I've pretty much tested all of my new makeup releases that I've picked up, so I don't really have another video to throw this in. So I just am gonna use it for myself, and then I'll throw it into a speed reviews. So single eye products go here. And then I picked up 2 of the Revlon Glimmer Blush Drops. I think they're both glimmery. Like the lip oils calls itself glimmery, but it's just kind of high shine, where these actually have sheen to them. So I have Field of Roses in this red shade, and then Coralicious here. And I thought I was gonna use these in a new makeup releases video also, but I don't really have any other drugstore makeup. I've pretty much tested it all. So I'm gonna throw that in here with these as well. So now we can put all of the items away that I got from Shop My Stash. All right, this one from Charlotte Tilbury is like a cream lip product. It's like a bouncy whipped cream lip product. I told you guys this was in the shade Rose Blur. I think it's actually really pretty. I'm noticing that if it comes to like kind of a matte formula, matte liquid lip, like this is definitely a preferred type, which is like pillowy and cream-like. So I think I'm gonna move the primers here. The taller lip products I usually like to keep in the back, but I think it'll be okay. And the Pout tint in Mad About Mauve from Revolution, it is tinting and it's so high shine and it's really opaque. I really enjoy that. Favorite product I've ever tried from Makeup Revolution. Then the satin lipstick from YSL. I might not even hold on to these because this is more of like a warm shade in N8. And I feel like the other shade I have is kind of warm too. And I didn't mean to get such warm shades. This one is Plum Full from MAC in the Luster lipstick. Having like a brighter pink like this, even though this one right here from Makeup Revolution is kind of like this. Like I like having shades like this, depending upon the eye look that I do, because I find myself doing a lot of eye looks that are this color. And then the one from Victoria Beckham, these are called the Posh lipsticks, and this one is in Sway, which is a mauve type shade. I have to say this is not my favorite luxury lip formula. It's definitely more pigmented than sheer and feels like a balm. I just stabbed it. What the hell, Carrie? But it's not like the longest lasting or the most nourishing. I mean, at this point, I have got to have tried several hundred different types of lip formulas over my lifetime. So I feel like those Posh lipsticks are pretty expensive, and there are drugstore formulas that are very similar. Like even this one from Neutrogena, I kind of like better than the Posh lipsticks. Like it's balmy, it's kind of high shine, same pigmentation, but it's just more comfortable. It's like more nourishing. All right, that's my rant. And then, oh, and by the way, I don't even know if they make these anymore. This is in Soft Raspberry, number 60 from Neutrogena. And then Kiko Milano makes some of my favorite shimmer glitter lip glosses ever. I don't know if you guys can see that because the lights are pretty bright, but oh, it's so pretty. They're just like really everyday lip glosses. They really truly are, and they do non-gritty, sparkly lips better than any other company so far that I've tried. All right, let's swatch these. This is in Venetian Rose from the Heaven's Glow blushes from M Cosmetics. This is so pretty. It's a it's a pink with gold, and it's got sheen to it. It's so lovely. I keep saying I don't use these enough, so there you go. Now I'm just gonna kind of set this aside when we add the blush. And the one from Makeup Forever in Spirited Sienna, it's also got sheen to it. It's so dark though. It's like so soft. That's the thing. Like if you liked this color, this formula is freaking amazing. See how it's like gold too? All right, and the last one from Give Beauty is the Feel and Cheeky Amplifying Blush Duo in the Color Story Lasting Love. Like you can even see this is more coral and this is more pink. So that's pretty much what they are, but they're also two different finishes. This is matte and this has some sheen to it. Again, just don't remember if I even like these colors on me. I think I'm more partial to this shade, and this is a little bright but deep, even though I'm reaching for bright blushes. Maybe I end up falling in love with it, who knows? And then these last three cream blushes from Revlon, 110, which is just a mauve shade. They're like a gel consistency, but then when you start rubbing them in, they're like more whipped, they're more cream-like. I think these need to be shaken or something. Like see how sheer that is? I just don't remember them being this sheer. And then this red one is in 120. Like these might totally be expired or need to be shaken or something. There's 120. Yeah, that's kind of what I remember, is that these are just maybe like a flush of color, and that's why all 4 shades worked on me when I tested them. And then 130 is their peach shade, or it's kind of like more orange to be honest. And that one stains. So that one might be the best performing one. Ask me why the orange one stains. I have no idea. It's just like the pigment that it is. And it's just really always been a staining formula. So we'll see if all of those perform well, and if they don't, then I can get rid of some. But I've loaded myself up on blush. I've got 12 different blush now between my everyday makeup drawer and the stuff that I'm testing. So that's good. Let's move on to bronzers. The MAC, let's swatch this guy in Light Rosy. I loved the idea that this came out. Look at the orange blush, because I was so into the rosy tones, but I feel like this is even more warm than some of the rosier ones that I'm currently reaching for. I have some rosier ones that honestly aren't as warm leaning. All right, let's do these Buttermelt bronzers. This one is the lightest one. Ooh, that is so pretty. It is very orange. I hope that it's not too bright in here, but it has such a beautiful sheen to it. The thing is, these have talc. So if you guys don't like talc in your products, because it's kind of a drying formula and also not good for you, I think long term. Anyway, I don't know, maybe I do like the deeper one and that's why I held on to it. So we'll find out. But I don't think I've overloaded myself with bronzer. So I'll get a good idea of which one I want to hold on to between the two NYXs and then the one from MAC. Oh my gosh, I put too much. This is the Glossier Cloud Paint and this one is in the shade, oh gosh, I've used so much of this, there's hardly any left. It feels very light. It's in the shade Sail. This is so freaking pretty. It's warm-ish, but I find that when you blend this out, it's so neutral on the cheeks and it's such a beautiful gel-based formula, cream formula. It just blends perfectly. It has really good lasting power and I don't find that it's like overly dewy. I think the Glossier Cloud Paints are still some of my favorite liquid, like cream liquid formulas. All right, let's move on to highlighters and I'll swatch these for you guys because I like to do all this swatching at the end so you guys can see what I'm pulling in. Kara Beauty's Dye For You Illuminating Powder in Fluorescent Rose. I did swatch this one already, I think, right? No, I didn't. There it is. Really pretty on top of a pink blush. I think it does have some sparkles in it, but they're not intense. They're kind of like sporadic. It's really smooth and very beautiful. I like Kara Beauty's highlighter formula. I like their eyeshadows too, but I think the highlighters are definitely my favorite. Then the Laura Geller one in Diamond Dust I did swatch for you guys. Let's do the Revlon Skin Lights. I think it's champagne-y, but you know, I'm not reaching for like almost gold shades like this so much anymore. Like champagne shades just are out. Like I don't know if I reach for them that often when they're a little bit more on the gold side. This, however, is more peach. This one I always feel like gives me kind of a gray cast, but when it's sitting on top of a peach blush or a pink blush, I just find that those look so much better on me. Anyway, those are the highlighters. Whew, you guys, this is honestly one of my favorite months to have done this because I feel like I have been rotating in so many of my own makeup and less on this side for testing new makeup in the last 2 months, and I've been thoroughly enjoying rotating my collection. And I feel like I'm doing such a better job than I ever did before. I'm just so proud of myself. I'm having a good time. The Hourglass powder in Ethereal Light, you guys saw. The powder foundation in 125 Neutral from Moira, I will use as a setting powder. And then the Maybelline Fit Me in 112 Natural Ivory. It will go with the Beauty Bakery Flour Better Not Bitter powder. And that's it for the powders. And that's it for my everyday makeup drawer for the month of February. That is all that I have for you guys today. If you guys are not currently subscribed, you know what I say? I would love for you to subscribe so you can stick around. I'm out of here and I hope to catch you all in my next video. Bye guys.